r/Reddit, what is the worst punishment you ever received as a child? My grandparents beating my mother in front of me for me talking to her. I was in their custody and my mother was an addict who they didn't want around, and she kept trying to call and come see me, so she came over, and my grandparents beat her, broke her jaw and nose, and said it was my fault for talking to her. I was 7. My mother was an addict. No surprises there, your grandparents sound like crap. I was driven about 30 minutes outside of my city to an isolated, large, and creepy looking building, which I was told was an orphanage. I was given the choice of telling the truth and admitting to something I had not done, or being left there. When I was around 6 years old, my stepdad woke me up in the night by pulling me out of the bed and yelling that I had got piss on the toilet seat. He took me out on the front porch, and while he was paddling me, the rail I was bracing against broke, and I fell off the porch. My mum took everything in my room except a blanket, my radio, books, toys, you name it. I was locked in there for the UK summer holidays. They are 6 weeks long. My mum used to beat 10 bells of shit out of, but being locked in that room the whole summer was probably the worst. In the 1980s, my father was a radioman and often had spare parts lying around. Whenever I was rebellious toward him, he was fond of whipping my bare back with metal radio antenna. When I was 8 years old, I had every dish in the house thrown at me, including a loaf of bread. I was then locked outside till midnight. I was first put out in the morning. My mom grabbed me by both shoulders and shook me until I went through a wall. But I thought I was never going to breathe again when she put both knees on my chest and yelled at me while holding me down and shaking my shoulders. My uncle would have me stand T-pose and hold books. Not too bad. Then I have to stand on my toes, then he would put nails sticking up under my heels. He would dare me to relax. Edit. On a related to my uncle note, he also chased me and my cousin, his own child, with a BB gun and shot at us. He eventually hit my cousin in the eye. The BB got stuck on his eyelid, so thankfully, there was very minimal damage to his eyeball. My dad vaulted across the dining table and shoved corn into my sister's mouth until my mom had to do the Heimlich on her. He never forced us to eat things again after my mom kicked him out for over 2 months. One time they forced me to eat my pancakes, but I already ate so much and bragged them to please stop, I'm full. No. Don't know how long I sat there, but I shoved them into my mouth. I nearly vomited and never ate a pancake in my life again. I can't even smell them without getting sick. We had a rule growing up that we had to finish the food on our plate. No exceptions. We couldn't leave the table until it was gone. I'm pretty sure my siblings and I each tried to last a night sleeping at the table. I definitely didn't make it all night. My mother tied me, naked, to my stepsister's bed and beat me with an extension cord until my back, butt, and leg were bleeding. She then dragged my stepsister in by her arm and asked her if she was happy about the severity of the beating. I was arguing with my stepsister earlier and hurt her feelings, so she told her dad. He fussed at me for saying mean things, and it embarrassed my mother. That's disgusting. Fuck her. My stepbrother punched me in the face and gave me a bloody lip. My stepmother decided as a punishment she would hit us both with a belt. I don't know why I was in trouble for getting punched, but she held onto the end of the belt with the holes and swung the belt buckle at us. It hit the back of my right hand, and I still feel the pain in the back of my hand when I squeeze something with it. I got punished for getting punched in the face. I still don't understand what I did wrong 23 years later. My dad once told me that if I let the word shit cross my lips again, I'd truly have shit cross my lips. I didn't listen and said it again that night, and he took a piece of fresh dog poop and made me hold it on my tongue for 30 seconds. I cried and never cursed again until I was 21. Had something similar. My brother hit me in the head with a pillow and the zipper cut open the back of my ear, bleeding pretty decently. Went upstairs crying, and I got yelled at. I was like 7. Still no idea why I got yelled at. I bring it up to my parents every now and then and they claim it never happened. I also got punished for letting my little brother punch me in the face. We were on an airplane, he wanted something, and I said no, so he punched me square in the mouth. I had braces at the time, so it was a mess. I got up to go to the bathroom to clean up, and the plane hit turbulence and I kind of fell over onto a well-dressed man, and accidentally got blood on his shirt. My mother was mortified and furious with me. She gave him money for his shirt, and I got quite the punishment when we landed. My brother didn't even get a talking to about it. In grade 10, in my part of the world, grade 10 was the first year of high school. I got an 80% on my Christmas French exam, and, as punishment, I wasn't allowed out of the house on school nights for the rest of high school. If I ever came home with a 80% test back in high school, my mom would have bought me a damn car. My sister cheated on a paper, so all 4 of us lost computer privileges for a month. Collective punishment just isn't effective or fair. My mom found out my sister was suicidal, so she locked my sister in her room with literally nothing but a blanket and maybe an air mattress. She was only let out to use the restroom. Food and clothes were brought up to her and then taken. When she was finished, my mom told me about this when I was about 8 or 9. I'm 19 now, and I have never and will never tell her about any of my mental health issues for fear of my life. My mom once made me smell her feet for 10 minutes for back talk. She switched to that once they banged soap in the mouth in my state. Honest question, can these sort of punishments lead to fetishes later on? Cause I wonder if that caused my foot fetish. They sure can.